live rounds, as we are ready to begin the grand final of the 2024 Spring NASCAR Cup.
There you go. Yeah, it's about to kick off. Just 5 more seconds. Players did their warm-ups. It has come down to this, guys. 5 weeks of playing with qualifying, semifinals, everything has brought us down here today to witness the Division 1 grand final of the SNC 2024 between PNE Blue and Power Rangers. And let's check out their lineups here. I think it will be Spider, Plastorex, and Panda for PNE Blue against Blitze, Dopamine, and Razorlight for Power Rangers kicking it off now.
No surprise, and it's so fortunate that I mentioned that detail, because these 6 players hold the 6 top daddies on this map.
Great.
You could not pick a stronger 6-man lineup for this match if you wanted to. And into the beginning of the lap, you can already see Dopamine breaking away, and you can already see Blitz's fallen behind, and this is that first corner that I was mentioning. You misjudge it, and suddenly look at this. Blitz is 0.8 of a second behind, and Razorlight's actually 0.2 of a second behind. Currently, PNE Blue enjoying a small advantage thanks to the consistency of their players, but Dopamine is flying right now. 0.2 of a second ahead of the rest of PNE Blue, with Razorlight still in contention, still capable of providing a solid counterattack, although PNE Blue look like they're putting in a great team effort. Power Rangers can still catch up. Kez will slide out. That will give them the opportunity they need, and Spider had to release. He will touch the wall with his outside wheel, and suddenly the round falls into Power Rangers' favor. How big was Spider's mistake? How big was it compared to Blitz's mistake? Actually, Blitz also made a mistake, meaning he will stay behind Spider, but as it stands, the round is in the favor of Power Rangers. Unless a mistake happens in the late round, there is simply nothing that can be done. Panda would have to snipe Dopamine to return this round into their favor, and I don't think Dopamine's the kind of player that will lose 1.5 of a second in the final corner, indeed. Dopamine in a 1:18.64, and round number 1 by 1 point to the favor of Power Rangers.
Yeah, very close, as we can see already. And just like you mentioned, early mistake by Blitze in that corner already sets him back a lot of the time. And yeah, that was very interesting to see that develop, as we are already moving into the second round here with Power Rangers taking the first.
Kez got noob filtered.
He's out already.
But no. Dopamine also seems to have touched the inside Ramstein in a corner where he had no speed, and suddenly he is actually overtaken by Kez. So one mistake follows another, and this might still fall in the favor of PNE Blue in the most unlikely of occurrences. Spider almost lifting that rear right wheel coming off that banked corner. The drivers are absolutely driving the wheels off of their cars. The amount of risk that they're putting into these rounds cannot be understated. Spider now trying to take a very wide line, risking almost touching the outside in order to gain more speed against Razorlight. So far, the gambit's paying off. He's staying competitive. He might be able to catch up. Didn't take that bank corner super well, and now Blitz and Razorlight are on the attack. 4 players flawlessly navigating that turn. And so far, Power Rangers hold a 1-point advantage. Panda and Spider need to make a snipe happen, or this round will fall in the favor of Power Rangers, the second in a row. Blitz and Razorlight still holding strong, but Panda, that's a very aggressive line. Can Panda possibly assure a snipe in the final corner? Final corner, let's see who judges the line the best. I think Panda just has a little more speed, but he doesn't have the right approach. But Spider did manage to snipe Razorlight, meaning this is a PNE Blue round. Clutch by Spider. Very well done.
Very, very well done. And Blitz's strong comeback after that first mistake in the first round, but it shouldn't be for Power Rangers. It's PNE Orange, or Blue, sorry, here would take the point. A great performance there by Spider in the last turn to snipe Racer. 1-1. That's what we want to see.
It needs to be said that in the last round, 4 players were within 1.5 of a second at the finish line. The level being demonstrated is huge, and suddenly Blitze makes a significant error in the first corner. The first serious corner, I should say, which puts Power Rangers at a significant disadvantage. Although they clutched up on the first round despite Blitz's early mistake, this time it's not looking so fortunate for them. But what PNE Blue need to do now is realize that they have a favorable position. Dopamine's actually in 5th place right now, being held back by Panda, while Spider and Plastorex, aka Kez, surge ahead. Razorlight currently the Power Ranger defending. Dopamine now on the offensive, heading into lap number 2. He's carrying lots of speed, and this can still fall in the favor of Power Rangers. Let's see the corner that decides it all. Spider lost, and I think he might not have even touched the checkpoint. Depending on what happens, that could be a disastrous error that sends him to last place. However, Kez and Panda still holding on to first and third, but Kez Kez slides out,
Oh,
touches
wow.
with the outside Ramstein, and the round falling decisively now into the favor of Power Rangers. Panda will try for a last-second snipe. That is a beautiful line, and manages to stabilize the car on time. A masterclass by Panda, but unfortunately his teammates are not there to punish, to capitalize. He will finish the round first, but Power Rangers will take the
Oh,
round.
wow. And Kaz being overtaken there by Blitz as well. That is super unfortunate. Panda, really great driving there. A lot of mistakes that round. A lot of mistakes. That's crazy.
But it needs to be said, yes, lots of mistakes. It does seem that way at first, but you have to understand that these players understand that to beat each other in terms of raw pace, they cannot afford to let their foot off the throttle. They cannot afford to waste even a small amount of risk, and they
That's
will be
true.
trying very hard,
Yeah.
possibly resulting in mistakes. But all 6 players are playing the same game in that regard, and there is already a significant mistake, and that mistake is by Spider. But Blitz has made an even more severe error. Now,
Oh.
3 rounds in a row where he's made a big
Oh.
mistake. He's barely gonna clear the looping, but Spider is still behind, and more importantly, Dopamine and Racerlight are holding Panda and Plasterex behind them, meaning this round still is currently in the favor of Power Rangers. Kesna with a very interesting line, but the line seems to be paying off as he does have just a smidgen more speed than the people ahead of him, enough to mount an attack heading into the second lap. Dopamine now with a bit less speed, does manage to rebound very well, navigates that corner expertly. It is Racerlight who falls behind, and now the round is in favor of PNE Blue. Assuming nothing changes, Racerlight will have to go on the attack or hope for a mistake while Dopamine has to defend. This is simply what Power Rangers have to do if they want to keep this round. It'll be 11-10. Thanks to Blitz's severe error and Spider's relatively minor one in comparison. Let's see how they navigate the platform ascent. Very stable from the PNE Blue drivers, and I think that despite Dopamine's heroics, it is a round for PNE Blue. They equalize 2-2.
There we go. Well done. Very well done. As I'm gonna move your cam really quickly here.
That's all right.
There we go. Now players
And
can see the team score.
Blitzer doesn't actually even finish the round. The mistake was so severe he didn't reach the finish line. Now, practically speaking, Blitzer does have incredible pace on his map. He is dead free, but so far his consistency has been nowhere to be found. He isn't the last in team points, surprisingly. That would be Spider with 9 points, Blitzer with 10, Kez with 12, Racerlight with 14, Dopamine with 18. The current leader of the map is Panda with 20. Fastest round, courtesy of Dopamine, a 118.5. So despite Dopamine's pace, this has actually been quite even, but marred with a lot of errors. This time all 6 players navigate the start well enough, I think. Nobody who has made a significant mistake. Blitzer currently the furthest one behind, perhaps due to a small release. And this is exactly what happens when you make that mistake initially. Your mental game, you start losing just a little bit of confidence, you release just a little bit, and suddenly you're eaten up. This is Division 1, you simply have no room for playing safe. And this is why so many mistakes will happen. You're thinking to yourself, well, how can the Grand Final, with players this skilled, have so many mistakes? But you have to understand, they are trying to drive at 110%, like they were still on the train server, because that is what they need to do to win. You cannot play safe and win an SNC Grand Final. That's just not how it works. And as it stands, what isn't working out for Power Rangers right now is this round. PNE Blue in a decisive advantage. Dopamine only in 3rd place. Kaz and Panda still ahead of him, while Spider provides flanking support from 4th place, holding Racerlight behind them. Racerlight and Dopamine have to make a big snipe happen for this to be happening. And holy shit, Dopamine's trying his best, but unfortunately that's a risky line, and he's actually eaten up by the finish line. Decisive round for PNE Blue. Almost an ace.
Almost. Dopa and Spider at the same time. Wow. Points for PNE Blue, and they take the lead here. 3-2 against Power Rangers. Very interesting.
That is 5 players in 0.2 of a second, and that is absolutely spectacular pace from everybody involved. They're playing at a pace which is half a second away from their respective daddies, and these players, I will remind you, are the 6 fastest daddies on this map. So again, could not pick anyone better. Spider, unfortunately, I think that he did touch the wall with the outside wheel. Yeah, that's gonna set him back about a second and a half. He is virtually out of this round, but oh, Blitzer, what was that? That was risky. He does stay in, although again, he seems to be trailing behind in terms of pace significantly, perhaps taking a little bit of damage to his confidence after an unfortunate start where the first corner was the bane of him for 3 consecutive rounds. This round, however, still in the favor of Power Rangers due to Spider's mistake. Plusterex and Panda now have to fight a defensive battle. Plusterex is risking a whole lot to try to catch up to the players in front of him.
Panda,
Unfortunately,
holy
he
moly.
does still have half a second of disadvantage. And unfortunately, unless Kez can make a snipe happen, this isn't enough. Kez actually needs to snipe at least one of these players, while Panda needs to maintain first place if they are to win this round. With Spider in last place, they would be hoping for a mistake at the end, and Panda is under huge pressure from Racerlight, who is putting out a vintage Racerlight round.
Oh, Dopa is gonna slide out.
Ooh, and
Oh, Panda
the
wins.
mistake at the end gives the round away to PNE Blue.
That's what we almost never see. Dopa just with a drift there. Got an auto, he says. Oh my days.
Yeah, exactly. And in these maps, this isn't even this isn't the only map where players will be driving near the limit of auto slides. They have to contend with absolutely every difficulty and trick in the book if they are to win this one. But yeah, Dopamine perhaps not showing up at his peak level. 24 points still puts him in second place. He has been winning. Kez, huge mistake. He'll respawn. This round in the favor of Power Rangers. Now when Blitz has got a good start, meaning that this really should be a Power Rangers round.
Oh,
But Blitz
he
touches
makes
the
a
outside
mistake.
wall. Hold up. Unfortunately, because because Plusterex has respawned, he's actually not going to be able to punish Blitzer for that. So Blitzer will hold on to 5th position on aggregate. This is going to be enough to make it happen for them. The only thing that PNE Blue can do right now to keep this round together is to finish first and second, and with Dopamine as your enemy and Racerlight hot on your heels. I don't think that's gonna happen. Dopamine has navigated the first part of the second lap literally perfectly, not releasing for even the slightest inch.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, Racerlight and Dopamine combine to assure that PNE Blue have no hope in this round. Panda and Spider are second and third. This means they will lose by just 1 point unless anything changes, but Racerlight is more likely to overtake them than they are likely to overtake Dopamine, who will not make the same mistake 2 rounds in a row. Despite Panda and Spider's valiant effort, not enough. Dopamine with the fastest time so far, a 1:18.48,
Wow.
and the round by 1 point to Power Rangers, keeping it close.
Keeping it super close indeed. 4-3 now after this round. That's really good to see. Not one team smashing it in terms of points at least. And we've seen super close driving here. Very, very nice.
And it needs to be said that when the players are actually finishing their rounds, they're finishing, 5th place is like 2 to 3 tenths away from 1st place, and they are all driving deady times.
Yeah.
It cannot be overstated just how much skill is required to play at this level on this map, and this is a level higher than we saw yesterday still, which is hard to say because the level yesterday was absolutely spectacular. But yeah,
Very
the
true.
players are driving the wheels off their cars right now, and 6 players navigate the start properly this time, meaning we are going to have a nice competitive round where all players can really show their innate pace and potential. So far, advantage PNE Blue due to Plusterex and Spider's efforts, with Blitz in last place. Blitz with a bit of an unorthodox line there, however he does carry plenty of speed into the lap. And you see in that final corner, obviously 6 players, 6 trajectories, lots of opportunities to take that corner with a bit more risk. Blitz is risking a lot,
Oh,
and that
Kez
risk will not be
Blitz.
rewarded. But actually, Kez has more speed. Kez has more speed coming off of that crash, and now the battle ahead rages on, but it is Power Rangers who are in the advantage, and Spider would have to snipe first place in order for this to happen because Panda has fallen behind about 2 to 3 tenths of a second. But 2 to 3 tenths of a second are all that needs to be done to win or lose a round here. But Spider is absolutely... No, he does have to release. He misjudged the line.
Oh, that was a misjudge indeed. Oh, he went too wide, had to release. Dopa is gonna snipe Spider there.
And by the end, actually, Racerlight also released and Panda almost sniped him. This was almost a double snipe back and forth, an incredibly close round in the final corner. Because you do not actually have the room to drive at full speed. You have to pick a release timing which does not sacrifice your speed heading into lap number 2. You have to turn in without sacrificing too much speed for the finish. And this is very difficult to do. That final corner is absolutely ripe for sniping left and right. Spider will touch the wall. Round now advantage Power Rangers, and they've been catching up. PNE Blue holding a 4-2 lead at one point, but it looks like it's going to be overturned by Power Rangers. Unless Panda and Kez can say something about it, this match has been incredibly high level so far, but PNE Blue, I think, perhaps with slightly inferior consistency between the 3 players. Slightly inferior, still very good. but not enough. You need to drive at 110% to make this work, and so far all players are trying. However, Panda and Kez would have to finish 1-2 to make this work, or at least
wow.
1-3. And Dopamine now catching up. Oh my god, he is not releasing.
What a line. Blitzer falling back though, so still here a chance for PNE Blue, but Dopa and
Yeah, but
Racer Light?
2 to 3 tenths of a second, it will be very hard. Dopamine had to release a little bit because he touched the inside Ramstein. That's going to actually allow Kez to... Oh, Kez was risking a lot. Kez had to risk it there. You have to understand that. Kez had to risk because the round would have been lost otherwise. Unfortunately, the risk doesn't pay off. And Panda, 3 tenths of a second, but that's all that you need to effectively lose the round. And Power Rangers overturn a 2-point deficit to a 1-point advantage. Now, PNE Blue...
Nice.
They have to kind of keep it together. They have to start pulling it back. And they have to, more importantly, score a point very quickly. They want to keep this as equal as possible heading into these other maps, because I feel like maps 2 and 3 are very prone to one team breaking away very quickly. I feel like, especially map 3, the flat map, Hybrid Fury by Blitzer, which will require just absolute perfection from the players. If you are not at your mental optimum, then if you're already tired, your fingers hurt because of all the rounds you've driven prior, it's going to be very hard to overturn a disadvantage that you might be facing at that time. Speaking of which, Power Rangers, with an unfortunate error by Dopamine, will now be facing a disadvantage, and actually PNE Blue, they have the opportunity that is rarely presents itself, because Racerlight also made a severe error, meaning that they have a completely free round in front of them. Now, what I would like to see from PNE Blue is a calm, measured response. You can afford to drive this corner safely now. You are under no... I want to see 3 players navigating this corner safely. That's exactly what they do. Good job.
Well done.
Even Blitzer makes a mistake, and actually this is going to be an ace by 3 unforced errors from Power Rangers. So not something you expect to see, but again, you have to understand that the player in front, currently Panda and Plasterix and Spider, they're driving the super high pace. With Opamine's mistake, Racerlight and Blitzer were under pressure to drive faster. You have to understand, the SNC promotes team dynamics in a very interesting way. You have to continuously judge how you want to drive around based on what is happening to your team around you. And PNE, an ace to reset their mental is the best thing they could have hoped for right now. 5-5 the score.
Very, very nice timing. 5-5 indeed. And an ace is super important to boost that morale. And let's see how it continues here as we get closer and closer to ending this map. But it's not over yet. It has been super close. Another round on the way here.
I think that, in all honesty, PNE should probably try to get an early advantage, simply because I think their consistency has been left wanting. Spider, I think, also touched right now. Yeah, I think PNE, the pace there, the consistency slightly in favor of Power Rangers right now. I think Dopamine and Racerlight have combined for a lot of points, and despite Blitz's underperformance, relatively speaking, on this map, I think Kez and Spider would have hoped to deliver a little bit more points for their side. And I think that if they did deliver just slightly more points, it would have been a solidly PNE map, so... doubt might be setting in because they knew they had enough pace in hand to win this map, but in fact, after their race, they might get counter-raced. Panda now the only person... Panda now the only person actually defending them against the aces. Blitz's mistake relatively minor compared to the ones of Kez and Spider. Panda the sole defender, unfortunately the round is lost regardless of his result. However, he will be trying to save face, and you know, regardless of what happens to your team, you might feel some individual frustration that you are driving very well, but your team isn't. There's no room for that. You just have to keep driving your absolute best and just hope it comes your way. There's no other way about it. Panda still dominating the points tally with 54 points. 30 points more than Blitz in last place, but Dopamine and Racerlight have provided the incredibly solid core that Power Rangers need to now hold a 1-point advantage. 47 and 43 points respectively to Blitz and to Spider and Kez's 32 and 30. I think they would have been hoping for more, but now Dopamine, he touched the inside Ramstein and he actually slid out. That's a pure ram bug, and all 3 PNE players navigate the first corner well, meaning this round is PNE's opportunity to force a deciding final 14th round on this map. And Blitzer, that's a huge mistake, and that's completely unforced. I have no idea what he was attempting to do here. That was completely unprovoked. At least I feel that way.
Yeah.
That's
moly.
not going to bode very well for them. And now PNE Blue, again, I want to see the exact same thing they did in their ace round. Realize that Racerlight is the only player competing and finish safely. Do not allow Dopamine back into the round because Dopamine is actually not that far behind. Dopamine
Panda.
actually rebounded from the mistake. He'll overtake Panda, but the round, it doesn't matter because Blitz is very far behind. Plasterex just needs to defend third place. Actually, he'll touch the inside-outside Ramstein. Hold up. Hold on. Now, Spider does need to defend the first place. They're actually only leading by 1 point now because Panda and Kez dropped. And what was Spider trying to do? I have no idea.
Oh, yeah,
No, actually, they threw the
What is
round. They
this?
just threw the round.
Oh my days. No
They
way.
just threw the round. Completely threw the round.
What? What? What have I seen? This was
I
the
have no
most
idea what they were trying to do.
point ever for PNE Blue to just force it 6-6. And what?
That is
Oh,
going to
no.
haunt them. I think that might straight up be what later down the line they might rue this mistake.
Wow.
Obviously, they still have free maps. They still have free maps, and they still have an opportunity to immediately rebound and bounce back, but that's a severe, unforced mistake of the kind that you simply cannot do in an SNC Grand Final. That might come back to haunt them. In the same way that Storm Chasers will be haunted by those rounds that they couldn't clutch out and finish, where just small slip-ups, individual, ended up costing them. And this is exactly the thing I was saying. The SNC doesn't just test your individual ability, it's your situational awareness. You have to understand that Dopamine isn't there. At least one of the players can see on their scoreboard that Dopamine is still behind, that Blitz is nowhere, that Racerlight is barely competing. You have to communicate amongst each other that this is happening, because when you don't, this is exactly the kind of thing that happens. Panda won the map with 58 points, but Dopamine and Racerlight simply too solid compared to Spider and Kez, and this means that Power Rangers, they are gifted a 7-5 advantage after PNE Blue actually led 4-2 at one point, and not good signs heading into this map number 2, which is extremely challenging. It is Roller Funk by Willy Gamer.
Wow. Interesting map, of course, that we saw already yesterday as well. Let's see how Div 1 is gonna go through that. PNE Blue maybe a little bit hurt there from that final round, but surely
they still have the opportunity. They still have the opportunity to bounce back.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the kind of time and deficit in the match that you can still just win the first round of the map, and suddenly you're just right in there. The flow is still going. You're 1 point behind, and it doesn't matter. The point is that if now Storm Chasers, they basically have the equivalent of a break point in tennis. This is where they can actually play for a big advantage in this match.
Yep.
If Power Rangers now break away, that's going to be a very bitter pill to swallow for PNE.
Then it's gonna eat
on
fast.
this map, what needs to be said, what you're seeing on your screens right now, the first part of the lap, you have these very narrow flat corners, these S-bends, which are incredibly difficult to take at full speed. You need to drive absolutely perfectly in terms of turning it at the right time, in terms of releasing just the optimal amount. The margin for error on this map is very small, and outside-inside Ramstein so perilously close. You always want to take them, but will you survive to tell the tale, or will you doom your team? Hard to say. The final of the map, these platform transitions, I think it would take a very severe error to crash there. Obviously, we did see these severe errors yesterday as well. Lucky Shot treating us to a couple of unfortunate mistakes on what was otherwise a dominant performance by him. But definitely the biggest problem that the teams will have to solve is the first part of the lap. These flat turns where the margin for error is minimal. And again, they will be compelled to take a risk. If you know that one of your players has crashed, you will subconsciously try to push a little bit harder because you have to. It's a 3v3. You cannot, count on somebody else really doing it for you. Every player has a very high degree of individual responsibility for the result of their team. This must be said. And suddenly, if a player is having a little bit of an off day, the pressure on a map which really requires full concentration, it might prove to be very dangerous for the players indeed.
Finishing the warm-ups here, and we're still, I think, in the dark for what the lineups will be, because I see most of the players driving here, which is interesting. Looking forward to see if Power Rangers or PNE Blue are going to make some changes, sub in a new player, and let's see.
As it were, the Daddies paint a very interesting picture, which is that 4 Power Rangers are in the top 6. And again, 2 PNE Blue players in the top 2, but 4 Power Rangers immediately following them. Meaning that, in theory, Power Rangers have an advantage in terms of the strength of their team on this map. Plaster X is the closest from PNE in 13th Daddy. Still very impressive, still only just 10 for 2 away from the peak pace of the Power Rangers. But I think, yeah, Power Rangers are really in the driver's seat right now. I know that feels very weird to say. We just had one map and they only have a 7-5 advantage, but the way that last round ended and just the Daddies on this map, the picture is very promising for them. If they can start strong right now, this can be what decides the match. This can put PNE in a significant disadvantage that they will feel hard-pressed to fight back from. Against any lesser team, PNE Blue just might, but against Power Rangers, it is not a given. And I'm very interested to see who PNE Blue send as their third player, simply because they have to. Dopamine, Stake, Racer, Rig, and Daddy 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very interested to see the lineups.
Let's see. They are about to kick off here. And you will be surprised with the lineups. I think it's Spider, Plasto, Panda for PNE Blue, and Razorlight, Stico, Dopamine for Power Rangers. So small changes. Let's see how they navigate the first part of the map, as Deft just pointed out.
Both teams still fielding the 3 strongest Daddies on both maps, so they are not messing around in any way, shape, or form. Whoever has the best peak pace probably also has the best consistency. Dopamine's made a severe mistake at the beginning of the lap. I have no idea how that's just happened, but he is out of the round for all intents and purposes. And PNE, this is their ticket out of the mess they made for themselves at the end of map number 1. Again, what we're looking for here is a mature approach to this map, not risking, realizing that you are in the driver's seat, you have the overwhelming advantage, and converting it safely, because you simply must. You cannot afford to give up a point like this. If Power Rangers were to win this round, that would be an absolute disaster. But so far, it seems like they are holding it together very safely. I think the players are navigating this.
Yeah.
They have found a line that works. I think yesterday, in one of the interviews, Devil mentioned that the line he practiced didn't actually end up working for him in the match, and this is a very significant risk on this map. You feel on the train server that this line is working for you and that you can execute it 10 times in a match, and then you crash the first 3 rounds, and suddenly doubt begins creeping in. Oh, no. That's a huge mistake from Spider, and that might actually throw the round, depending on what happens. Who reaches the finish line first, that might decide everything. Spider barely reaches across the finish line. It is a blue round, but that was an unforced error and a half.
Oh, we were not going to see that again. Oh.
So that was an unforced error and a half, but
they still take it.
Ultimately, what PNE Blue have to sort of keep thinking in their head, it doesn't really matter how you win the round. It just matters that you win the round. Yeah. They're now again within 1 point, and yes, Power Rangers may have the slight advantage in terms of the level the entire team can achieve, but Panda and Spider still hold the top 2 Daddies, so if they can unlock shades of that pace while still maintaining the consistency they showed on the first map, especially Panda, anything's still possible as we go into this lap. Look at how much Kez risked there in order to gain a little bit of pace. He again realizes the position he's in. He's in 4th place. He feels like he needs to catch up, and he took so much outside Ramstein there, he could have easily touched the wall. So the players are making all of these decisions on the spot right now, and that's a fascinating thing to see, that they are under pressure to make decisions in the spur of the moment. When you're on the train server, you're not really thinking in terms of that. You're just thinking, let me get a good run in, let me try to practice a line. But now this is just something completely different. You are fighting a live match and Spider's in the wall, and now the pressure has increased.
Oh, he's gone, he crashes into the checkpoint, and that might be it.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Razorlight and Dopamine would have to make a colossal mistake because Stico is anchoring them from half a second behind. And the overall score right now, I mean, Panda, sorry, Plaster X risking a ton in order to still win the first place. But what he might not realize is that it is simply over. And yeah, 129.3 already from Dopamine, shades of the pace we saw yesterday. Yeah, that was very unfortunate. And 8-6 now the score in rounds as Power Rangers immediately strike back. But I don't know. I feel like PNE, if I was a PNE player, really would like to try and score some points right now.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, no more time for thinking about the later. You really want to keep the match close heading into map number 3. Map number 3 is a killer. The amount of precision required for that map, a map which has really one perfect line, a map where you're being tested on how close to perfection you are, it's going to be very difficult to fight from behind. And Panda now touches, and Blasterex also, he landed directly onto the edge of the Ramstein, and that predictably bugged them out. That's simply a risk you have to learn not to take in your train. They feel under huge pressure, but now Razorlight, he makes a little bit of a mistake, and Spider's in second place. Maybe there's still something to play for, depending on how far behind Razorlight is. Kez is fighting with him, so maybe there is something to play for. It's very unlikely, but maybe there's something to play for.
Pressure is on Spider right now to overtake Dopa. I think it needs to happen in order to win this round still.
It has to happen, exactly. Well, Kez also needs to push,
Yep.
but Stiko's consistency has been huge for them right now. Maintaining 3 and 5/10 of a second in hand, but he is their closer. Power Rangers have the sort of pace in hand from Dopamine and Razorlight that they can afford to tell a third player to just kind of take it easy, not really push it. And Spider will try to push it, but the problem is that you're facing Dopamine, and suddenly, even if you do risk it, you might not win. This is exactly the problem, and why I'm saying that they need to start winning rounds now, because you will not be given an opportunity. Kez also touched the wall in the end, and yeah, it isn't looking good. The situation is worse than the score paints it to be. The score is now, I believe, 9-6, yes. So 9-6.
True. Yeah.
9-6 is far from an insurmountable score, but simply the way in which this score came to be, and the characteristics of the map, and the pressure that a team like Power Rangers can put on you, this is what makes it such a misleading scoreline, such a difficult one to fight back from.
And they need to start, as you mentioned, right now. Let's see, everyone navigating here another round. And PNE Blue needs to step it up in order to stay relevant in this match against the Power Rangers today.
And yeah, I mean, it is very difficult to ask this from a player, because as a player like Panda, you already gave an incredible map where you even beat Dopamine on map number 1, and now Dopamine, he did touch the inside Ramstein, misjudging that 270 at least slightly. Spider was also risking a little bit. He almost crashed, but he manages to stabilize. So now PNE Blue have the advantage, and conversion is the priority. They have enough pace in hand that even if they give it the little bit of safety they need, they will still have the advantage they need. Let's see how they navigate these S's. So far, so good from all 3 players. That was quite risky from some of them. And Power Rangers behind them are actually risking a whole lot. And paradoxically, it's not so bad to be in Power Rangers' position, even though it looks like you're about to be aced, because you are close enough that even the smallest mistake ahead will put the round in your hands. It's not decided. It's not a hard mistake. And now Panda and Blasterex have to hold on to the top 2 positions in order to seal this round for their team. Stiko actually has a decent chunk of pace in hand. It should not be enough.
Should be fine.
If they do this final transition properly, and they will, and it is a blue round.
Impressive as well. Great driving from Panda and Plasto. Super close together. They're moving like a little PNE Blue blob.
And this was necessary. This was direly needed.
Yeah. Yeah, well played. Very, very needed indeed. 2-2. Crawling back on the total score line as well. Very important here. Well done.
And practically speaking, now that they've equalized the map, PNE Blue are the ones who are under pressure to do the advantage. As a team like Power Rangers, how should I say this? You have so much skill that the rounds can sometimes just fall in your favor anyway, just by your pure pace.
Yeah.
And then when you have a buffer of 1 to 2 points, that is sometimes all you need. That's really sometimes all you need to take it across and get it past the finish line. That's the wonderful thing about NASCAR. This close action, all the players trying every round, the implications, going through every player's mind right now are just fascinating to analyze.
That's crazy, and we see another slight downfall here from Stiko, not too far. He's still hanging on to the pack. We see Plasto also falling. a little bit further down. Well, we have a great fight here up front between Razorlight and Panda. Super close round here. No major mistakes yet. Who's gonna take it here? Let's see the chicanes. Everyone...
Kez is carrying a lot of speed. He might
Quite
still be able
safely.
to do something to the battle in front of him. Stiko is still behind. This round will be decided in the final corners. There's nothing to separate the teams right now, and there's no way to tell how it's going to end. This will be close until the finish line. A majestic round unfolding before our eyes, but now Razorlight and Dopamine are making an aggressive attack while Spider and Kez have fallen just a little bit behind. Everybody's going to try to risk as hard as possible, and Spider is carrying a lot of pace in hand. He ideally would like to snipe at least one of them. It is possible, but oh, I think just not. What will happen with the round in the end?
But they
Yes,
still
because
take
of
it.
Kez,
Yeah.
they take it.
Wow. And that was...
Panda with a defensive drive, and Spider almost sniped one of them. Thankfully, didn't need to snipe. Kez defended.
Absolutely insane.
And that is really something.
That is really, really important. Super nice. Very, very close. Everyone within 0.6 seconds there, I think.
Now the score is 8-9, so still Storm's Power Rangers hold a 1-point advantage. Panda slides out. This is a critical mistake. Perhaps a mistake he should not allow himself to make, but critically, he stabilized this car. He's within 0.4 of a second. This is enough to keep him out of contention for the lead of the round, but he still is able to snipe people who make a mistake. This is the critical thing. However, I will say, there have been very few outright mistakes from the Power Rangers. PNE Blue, if they won any rounds, they won it just by straight pace, which is just a fascinating thing that they have to fight such an uphill battle because they're not being given anything by Power Rangers. This is the fascinating thing. You put Dopamine together with two FOTS players, that is fearsome. The level of consistency, player like Razorlight, player like Stiko, and you pair it with Dopamine space, every round is like fighting a whole war, not just a battle. But now, Panda has actually caught Razorlight off. However, the round is still in the advantage of Power Rangers because they're holding on to the lead positions, and Kez was risking so much to try to take the position from Stiko. Critically, he's not able to do it. This corner will decide everything. Stiko releasing a little bit. No. That's going to be the pace differential they need, as now also Panda is catching up with Plotterix.
No! What's happening? Dopa wins. It's Power Rangers round. Oh,
that was a critical mistake because in the end, Panda was not able to snipe Stiko.
Yeah.
That's a critical mistake that ends up actually throwing the round away from them. Dopamine just put up a time 1700ths of a second from Daddy 1.
Dopa is fired up here. Absolutely
Dopa
insane.
Put
what a time.
up a time 100 of a second away from his personal best. 100 of a second away from his personal best in live rounds. This man is an alien is an understatement. And I mean, and it's obviously easy to say, well, Dopamine's putting in a hard carry performance, but again, it's because Razorlight and Stiko are finishing every round without a significant mistake. This is actually what's letting Power Rangers stay competitive in this map. Which is a fascinating thing to say. How is the person who's putting up Daddy 1 times not the primary carry? But I think that it can't be understated how much the consistency of the two players supporting Dopamine, how much that consistency is doing for them right now, instead of their overall pace.
Yeah, and we can see that in the team points. So
But Razorlight and Dopamine are on the attack, and this is the thing, nothing is free. 6 players are now within 0.4 of a second, and Stiko, critically, even if he is releasing a little bit, he is just releasing. He's stabilizing every single mistake in a way that it leaves him able to snipe positions at the end. On pace, he isn't being super competitive, but he doesn't need to be. It's a tactical decision. When Razorlight and Dopamine are fired up, you don't need to have a third player significantly risking, and this is what gives them a long-term advantage over an entire map, over an entire match. Every player has a role, every player has a purpose. But carefully, it is Stiko who snipes Spider right now. But I think that with Panda...
PNE.
That was almost something at the end. Panda does save it. But that almost went bad. And again, Stiko was able to snipe his way past Spider. Yeah. Unfortunately, the pace not allowing him to contend at the top. But he's playing a very, very useful tactical role. Yeah. Cannot be understated.
A super good core here from Power Rangers to allow them to drive like this. And wow, we've seen such close rounds. It's absolutely insane. And it's living up to it here.
And unlike the first map, where you had certain players hard carrying and certain players not putting up any points, all 6 players are within 9 team points.
That's crazy.
On this map. 29-20. That is absolutely insane. Oh, but that's a significant mistake from both Kez and Spider. Both Kez and Spider. And that's going to be a point in the bag for Power Rangers every day of the week because they just don't make these severe errors. Because PNE Blue are facing a disadvantage in points from map number 1, they are constantly pressured to try to put up the kind of pace that will even put dopamine behind them. They are forcing because they must force, and that force is the 10% of extra pace you need to put in is all the difference between safely finishing 100 rounds and safely finishing maybe 30 rounds. The finesse at the very top level of NASCAR is absolutely crazy.
Crazy stuff here. Crazy stuff indeed. Dopa taking the lead. Razorlight and Stiko, like we've seen many times, right behind.
And again, 6-7 of a second. And again, Stiko pace, he is the slowest in pace out of all the players. But he puts up the points that he needs because by just being 0.3 of a second slower, this increases his safety a huge amount. You have to understand that for these top players and generally in NASCAR, 90% of the effort is getting from the last 10%, you know? The last 10% of pace is 90% of the effort, 90% of the risk. And PNE are the ones who are disadvantaged in the current battle. The current score, 9-11. So again, the Power Rangers keep the lead despite PNE Blue's efforts. And again, if PNE Blue were in the driver's seat, I bet that the roles would be reversed because all 6 of these players know how to drive at something like Stiko's pace in a way that lets them finish 100 rounds in a row. But they don't have the choice. That's the beauty of a 3 versus 3 format. So much individual responsibility and so many team dynamics in play. And now Spider was risking a lot. He actually does stabilize. I didn't think he would be able to save that, but critically, it puts him in last position. And he is, you know, Dopamine's the guy ahead of him. He's not going to be sniping off a Stiko or something like that. And Stiko this round, now he's activated a pace and Dopamine falls behind, Stiko surges ahead. You have nobody on Power Rangers who's weak. It feels like the team is dodging every single punch like a boxer in fluid motion. You dodge something, you're immediately throwing a punch with a different player. It's completely crazy to see them working together as a team in action. It's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in the years that I've spent playing and casting NASCAR.
Absolutely
high level action at its very best. And Kez, he can try all he wants, but unfortunately that is the tiniest misjudgment in the corner, but now he doesn't have the pace to compete, and despite Panda's heroics, it's a round for Power Rangers, and it's the round which opens up a very big lead for them right now. That's, you know, 9-12, the overall score. You're thinking 3-point advantage, oh, whatever. It's a huge advantage.
Yeah, and especially, like you said,
huge advantage.
Map 3 coming up, which will be critical in that way. So PNE, it's looking really difficult for them right now. Even though Panda with 40 team points leading that leaderboard. Look at the team points for PR. They are looking super strong and super solid here as a squad.
And that's precisely the point. What does it matter that Stiko is technically the slowest player in the field if he has more team points than Kez and Spider? Kez and Spider both have better pace than him, but because they're pressured to take so many risks, they're not able to convert the rounds that they would normally be able to convert, and the safe play has proven to be a good tactical choice. Playing from a disadvantaged position against Power Rangers is the hardest thing you can wish on any player. And Spider, again, pressure getting to the players in a way that is happening because they let just 1 point that was supposed to be free slip on the first map, and the compounding mental and practical disadvantages of that are being felt 7 rounds later on a completely different map. It's a moment that shapes an entire match. That is a thing that you simply don't get in other sports. In other sports, you know, a goal in a tied match on the 90th minute, that's all that matters. 1 moment that decides it all. But in NASCAR, 1 round, you feel its effects. 10 rounds later, 15 rounds later, every round has its importance, meaning every round you have to completely mentally reset, fight like it's the very first one, or you will lose. And right now, I mean, Kez and Panda, they are fighting absolutely heroically. But in the end, Stiko snipes Kez, and Dopamine keeps Panda behind. And despite Panda's incredible pace, again, round Power Rangers, and now the advantage will become insurmountable.
Yeah, this is getting out of hands real quick now. Power Rangers.
This is very, very bad.
4 to
Because
6.
this is the second round. If this is the second map in a row that Power Rangers win, look, you have to put 4 to 5 rounds. If you are putting 4 to 5 rounds together against a team that is just slightly lower in caliber, I would say PNE Blue can do it any day of the week because they can get into the flow and they will absolutely crush anybody that isn't Power Rangers in terms of pace. But Spider's touching the wall again, and it just feels like the pressure that Power Rangers is putting on them is enough to force these errors from them. They took a free point that PNE Blue gave them, and they are converting that mental advantage into yet more points. This is the brutal thing about playing against Power Rangers. They give you nothing. They take from you everything. You give them a finger and they'll bite your whole arm off. It's fascinating to watch. But now, technically speaking, this is still a winnable round in the sense that Kez and Panda still hold on to important positions, but Dopamine's navigated the first part of the lap so expertly, and so is Racerlight. Kez, however, more speed heading into this part of the lap. The problem is that he has to conserve that speed, and he only has a few hundredths of a second in hand at best. Panda and Dopamine are driving the wheels off of their respective cars to try to get this round for their teams. The problem is that Racerlight's holding Kez back. So both Panda and Kez would have to win their battles. Kez will win his battle because Racerlight misjudged the line just slightly.
He's a little bit faster.
Panda has to snipe Dopamine. Panda has to snipe Dopamine, and I think he will.
No! Oh, and this is what you have talked about before. The risks that these players need to take in order to win their 1v1 battles that we saw here. Panda versus Dopa, Kaz versus Racerlight. He's gonna misjudge, gonna fall off. Oh, and that's the map.
Wow. He had to risk. That's the thing. He had to risk. Otherwise, there's no opportunity for you to win the round.
Yeah.
Panda's situational awareness to know that he has to risk, and Kez's situational awareness to know that they have to do it, is spectacular. But unfortunately, that's when these small mistakes creep in. These small mistakes, they're human. They happen to everybody. They happen to Panda, they happen to Dopamine, they happen to Racerlight, they happen to everybody no matter how many tournaments they've played, no matter how many tournaments they've won. And he just comes on the unfortunate side, the losing side of the coin. This is fine. The problem is that you're now in a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, the total score now 14-9. And that seems, well, almost not beatable anymore by PNE Blue. This is insane.
It is. The fascinating thing is that it is. Because the fourth map is, I think, a map where we've seen concentration completely implode from every team so far. Yeah. A team like Storm Chasers has quality and proven winners and proven tournament players everywhere, and they still broke down on the final map in a very interesting way.
Very true.
And I think the same might happen again. The problem is this map. The final map is the sort of light at the end of the tunnel. The problem is that you're currently in the tunnel, and this map is as dark as you can possibly imagine. This flat map, Hybrid Fury by Blitza. So again, Power Rangers are the ones with the map. You would think this is a small advantage, depending on whether they play him or not. But this map demands perfection. There is one perfect line for this map. Everybody at this level of play, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching right now, they know exactly what that perfect line is. They could tell you what the perfect line is if you woke them up in the middle of the night and you asked them to draw it blind. They know what they have to do. The problem is that actually putting that together when you are under the pressure of a grand final and you're also 5 points behind is a titanic challenge. If a player has the mental fortitude to actually crank out a great performance on this map, then I have absolutely no words. PNE Blue to make a comeback here would not just be a great comeback because this has been a very closely fought grand final. It would genuinely be the greatest comeback because of the circumstances that they find themselves in.
I agree.
Perfection is demanded. There's one perfect line. There's no other way. And if you deviate from that perfect line at any moment, your flow is irreparably damaged. Your flow is going to be ruined in a way that just slightly changes the angle at which you're approaching the next turn, slightly changes your timing, your muscle memory starts acting up, and suddenly you can find yourself way too close to the outside Ramstein. You're trying to compensate, but it's too late. You just have to drive this map, with ease.
Yeah.
You have to drive it with complete ease, and it's impossible to drive with ease in such a high pressure situation. This is the thing. This is really PNE being between a rock and a hard place. They are in a storm right now, and they have to find a way out from a basically impossible situation. I know that that sounds like a super weird thing to say. Spider has Daddy 1, Panda has Daddy 2, Kez has a super competitive Daddy. In terms of pace, I think nobody would underestimate any PNE blue player on this map. But even for them, this is a monumental challenge. Even for the players that have already proven that they can do anything, that they can fight at any level, that they can drive any map at a super high level. Even for them, this is a monumental challenge. If PNE Blue did this, listen, we've seen some spectacular comebacks this SNC. We've seen NRT Cyan against, I believe, Slow Noobs Cruising 8 rounds in a row after losing 5 in a row. We've seen FKX Platinum yesterday do an unthinkable comeback across 3 maps after getting battered on the first one. This one would be harder and even more impressive than all of these. And that's saying something.
It's gonna take a monument indeed. It's absolutely crazy. But PNE Blue, they're almost ready. 10 seconds to show us if it's possible.
Power Rangers do not have a weakness. That's the point. FKX Platinum said in the interview yesterday, they saw what Storm Chasers picked as their lineup for map number 3. They picked Raptor, they picked Storm, and they picked Valmara, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And in the interview, I think it was Casper that said, we saw that lineup and we thought this is our chance. We thought that's a weak lineup. We thought that we can beat this lineup. No, you cannot think that thing against Power Rangers. Power Rangers don't have a lineup that has weaknesses. You cannot pick any permutation of 3 players that is weak. And what they've chosen for this map is the same one, actually. Dopamine, Stiko, and Razorlight. So they've taken the super consistent proven Stiko, again pairing it with the Dopamine and Razorlight Masterclass, and yeah, again, Kez, Spider, and Panda, and already the beginning of the first round.
Yeah, they are kicking it off
well for them.
Let's see, so no Ekrol yet for PNE Blue in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was you, Kin Lucky Shot in the interview, apologies, but enough about yesterday, more about today, and PNE are not looking in a good way.
No, Panda taking the lead, but PR strong block here in the middle. Blasto a little bit further behind.
That's the problem. Like, Panda has put up a performance that is genuinely better than Dopamine this evening. This is a fascinating thing to really think about.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been followed up by Spider and Kez, which is a fascinating thing to think about. Of course, for Kez, there is that question of he's seen the maps yesterday. Obviously, he cannot be as trained as the Power Rangers members. But for Spider, I think that's really unfortunate. He would have been expecting more. And it's fascinating to see that despite all of this pressure, so many players are so close to perfection. That's a fascinating thing. It takes so much to drive this map well, but it's a red round.
There we go.
Because Stiko secures that 5th place, and look at this ratio, like Dopamine, 114.8 on demand. 114.8 is a crazy 15 time.
That's crazy.
And they do this stuff on demand.
Exactly.
And they are playing from an advantage. They will give you nothing. It's like playing a chess game against Magnus Carlsen. You give him an extra piece. Are you going to win that game? No, you won't. You have no chance. And this is the problem. This is the problem that began with the round that they threw away. You can't give anything to Power Rangers. They give them 1 round, and look what's happened. And now Panda, I think, has Panda made a big error or not? Actually, no.
He's there.
The fact that Panda stabilized that is insane. And now Stiko makes a little bit of a small error. But again, there's nothing to separate the players. There's 5 players in 1/10 of a second. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, this is the most insane flat map level I've seen in my life. Absolutely crazy. Spider now in 1st place. He needs this for his confidence. He needs to win this. He actually has Daddy 1 on this map. Spider, the player that has not been maybe having the best of evenings tonight. If he can crank it out for his team now, and if he can put some points on the board, I think he won't mind, and he will be energized heading into map number 4. I'm saying that you can't give Power Rangers anything, but the same applies for PNE, obviously.
Yeah, and Razorlight is gonna burk out, and Dopa, I think, is gonna take this round. It doesn't matter. Strong performance there, and PNE Blue take one back.
Very important. And Spider and Panda now with a 114.8-2 and 8-4. So doing exactly the same thing Dopamine and Razorlight did. The problem is they have to do it again and again and again and again.
Round
They,
after
they are.
round.
They cannot go even anymore. They have to actually win this map decisively. They are facing a big disadvantage. The score is now 10-15. They have to win this map hard. And then, if they manage to do it, fourth map is anyone's game. I already told you. Concentration for the players will be falling off. That is a natural thing. That's nothing to do with the level of the player. That is completely normal, especially when the maps are this challenging. And PNE will be looking at that as an opportunity. If they can weather the storm now, if they can come back on this map, well, I would be thinking their chances on map number 4 are actually quite good again. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
If Power Rangers had let PNE get an advantage like this, PNE would also convert it. No doubt about it. This is a mental game as much as it is a game about playing NASCAR at the highest level. All of these players have proven that they have this. They are the highest level of anybody in NASCAR.
And look at how close it is.
This is the mental game is a huge part of this. I keep saying this all evening, but I'll keep repeating it until it sinks in, because it cannot be understated what duress the players are facing. And Kez, that's a small mistake. He stabilizes, but the problem is that if Panda gets overtaken now, Dopamine, that mistake is important.
And look at Panda's time.
Spider,
sorry.
Daddy 5. Daddy 5 in a live round.
Holy moly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daddy 5 in a live round.
That's absolutely insane. Spider is doing it here.
And how fascinating is it that PNE have to keep doing this on demand? How insane is it that this is what you have to do to win? If you were looking at the Daddy 5 in a train server, you would say, well, that's a good time. Very nice time. Very well played. If you saw a Daddy 5 in a live round in a match that was already kind of over, you would still say, that's very nice. But not only do PNE have to do it, they have to do it on repeat. Razorlight would mistake Dopamine with a mistake.
Wow.
Whoa.
What is happening? 1, 2, 3 for PNE Blue. Stiko is also gonna slide. What are we seeing here?
But convert this round. No clowning around. Dopamine and Razorlight are all PR players are close enough to punish, by the way.
Oh, Dopa. What a risk.
Call it 200. No. Dopa can risk as much as he wants. The round will not change hands. It would have to be a error. Straight up error from PNE. But I really hope that they are in the mental state to play this properly. To play this safe.
Looks like it. Look at this.
Good. And they have to keep doing this on demand. That's a 114.77 from Panda. That's like a Daddy 12 time.
Daddy 12 time on demand, like you talked. Ace for PNE Blue. Wow. 3-1.
Ace for PNE Blue, but
it needs to be repeated.
But that's the fascinating thing. If PNE Blue, the very fact that they're doing this is amazing. The fact that they're doing this while being down in a SNC Grand Final is even more amazing. The fact that Power Rangers are their enemy just makes it unbelievable. Unbelievable. The amount that every individual player has to be putting in, they are all driving at 110% simultaneously to affect this comeback. The mistakes that Power Rangers are making are not big mistakes. Far from it. They're still driving this map at a super high level. But they are finally being punished for the small mistakes that they're doing. This is the critical difference. And now this round will go down to the wire.
What am I
6
seeing?
players in 0.2 of a second
They are all
heading
on
into
daily
lap
pace.
number 2.
It's absolutely insane. Stiko is behind here. He's only
Razorlight had to take a
0.36.
slightly suboptimal line. He's going to lose a little bit of flow, and Stiko's still in last place. PNE have an opportunity. PNE have an opportunity that they must convert. Blaster X, that's a mistake that he cannot afford to make, and that's going to send him into last place. Spider and Panda now have all of the pressure. They cannot lose this position. None of them can lose, and one of them should ideally even overtake Dopamine. I think it's still a lost round for them unless Dopamine crashes out.
Yeah.
It's a lost round, yes.
Wow.
Kez made a mistake he could not afford to make. And he had the opportunity to release up to half a second. Again, unforced error, 1 point round, 10-11 team points. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's all that's needed. PNE immediately have to put a stop to this.
This can't continue.
13-17 overall score. 13-17. Or sorry, is it even 13-17? Sorry, it was at 9-14, yeah?
It was 14-9, yeah.
So it is now 12-16, I should say.
Yeah. Of 16, score keeps on ticking.
I'm so I'm so enamored. This is like watching a blockbuster movie.
Exactly.
It's fascinating. I'm so enamored I can barely count anymore. It's a fascinating thing to see. They're again within 1/10 of a second. 6 players. How can they do this in an SNC Grand Final? How can they not be out of their minds with the pressure that they're facing? I can't believe what the players are doing for us. The times that they're doing. Panda is 5/100 of a second currently from Dedi 1. What he has to do, Dopamine, that's the slightest error that you can possibly imagine, but he keeps the car together. Posturex and Spider have to mount a counter attack, and Panda has to maintain the position in order for this to work. Spider, that's a dangerous line, and look at this. That's the difference in flow. The difference in flow, which changes only a couple hundredths of a second, and he slides out. That's the loss of flow that I was talking about. That's a small mistake, but tiny mistake. Inconsequential almost, but it is a Power Rangers round because of it. 114.87, 114.89, 114.89. 3 Power Rangers in 200ths of a second.
Holy shit.
Panda again did Dedi 5 and lost the round. Panda did Dedi 5 and lost the round.
Holy shit.
But this is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough. Power Rangers are going to win the match if this continues.
Yeah, and it could be over on this map, I think. Right?
No, not yet. I think it's 12 to 17, so still possible.
Okay.
But PNE need to win the map, and it ideally shouldn't even be close. They're looking for a minimum of a 7-5 win, and then they would have to win again quite decisively. So hopefully, what they would ideally like is something like a 7-3, 7-4.
And then they need to start right now, racking up the points lap 2, and super close. Look at this, everyone within a tenth.
How are they doing this again?
Dopa sliding out. He's out. He's out of the round. There is a possibility for PNE Blue.
PNE have to convert this possibility. You can no longer think about possibilities. Every player, when he sees the checkpoints that he is like 1/10 behind anyone, every player sees the possibility. But now is not the time for possibilities. Now is not the time, oh, I'll just delete the round. It's train server. I don't care. You have to realize the times that you're driving right now without fail. PNE looks like they've done it for this round.
They did it.
And again drove a Dedi 5, 2 consecutive Dedi 5. I can't believe
insane.
my eyes.
What is Panda doing here? And look at the team points for him as well. He is absolutely cracked.
I am in disbelief. Panda has been the leader in points on almost 3 maps. He's the finals MVP regardless of the result. He's actually been putting every single other player on the server in the dirt. And it's still not enough to bring his team the victory. How crazy is this?
That's crazy. And against Power Rangers.
Into 114.65.
Absolutely insane.
This is inhuman. People are this consistent on a train server. He's doing it in live rounds in a grand final. What is this? What has he been eating other than the obvious answer, bamboo? He's a panda. What is this man made of?
He is on fire, but like you said, it's not enough for now. And Power Rangers with Dopamine take the lead right now here in this round.
Yeah, because Posturex made a slight flow error. He's actually 3/10 of a second behind, and now PNE are praying for an error. It actually has to be an error. But Power Rangers are incredible. Kez is risking so much, but it's not enough because Panda also
risked. Line for Panda.
Yeah, Panda also risked, but I don't think it's enough.
Doesn't matter. No, it's not enough. Wow. And that means that Plasto with only 0.38 behind, it's not enough for PNE Blue. That's so crazy. It's
114.81, 114.87 from Spider and Panda. It's still not enough. Panda and Spider are leading the map in points, and they're still not leading in rounds, even though literally nobody from Power Rangers is even close to them. 42 points Panda, 31 Dopamine, 26 Racer, 19 Stiko, and it's still 4-4. This is heartbreaking, but more importantly, this is disastrous. This is a disastrous result because if I'm counting my points correctly, this means that they still have a 5-point deficit
Yeah.
And now time is running out. They must win on demand. They must win on demand on this map and on the next one. Dopamine makes a huge mistake. That's the opportunity that they're looking for. And now is the time to convert. There is no room for error. Zero margin for error. On a map that is already so unforgiving, now they need to be completely impeccable. Kez, that was not impeccable. But he stabilizes. Very clutch from Kez to save himself and still holds the position from Stiko. But Spider and Panda, no room for error. No, none. Kez, he does make an error. Now Stiko is chasing. They can't make any final mistakes. No, 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 no. PNE are actually in a really bad shape. Spider touches the wall. No, they throw it away. Did they throw it away?
We've seen it again.
They threw it away.
Oh. Even with the crazy mistake from Dopa has to reset on the checkpoint. They throw it away again.
This is basically this is basically the end.
It's not it, but it's basically it.
6 point advantage. 6 point advantage for Power Rangers. That is, oh no.
Holy moly.
That physically hurt to watch. And Racerlight did a Daddy 4. That's the fastest round anybody has done so far.
That's absolutely insane. 62. That's crazy.
And it's fascinating that kind of run, a run that you would make a clip of and put it for people to watch to study how to drive NASCAR, is overshadowed because the stakes of the match are crazy.
It's too high, yeah.
Panda has put up the following times on this map. These are all just rounds, not just his personal best. 1:14.64. 1:14.65, 1:14.76, 1:14.77, 1:14.80. He has 5 of the 12 fastest times any player on the map has put up in live rounds. And it's still not enough.
But it's not enough.
He might not even win the map. This should not be humanly possible. My eyes must be deceiving me. But PNE at least look to have control of this round. Stiko and Racerlight just 2 to 3 tenths of a second, and against a team like PNE Blue, 2 to 3 tenths of a second is enough. And you can completely envision that this would have been the same thing the other way around. You're thinking to yourself, well, yeah, Power Rangers are the better team. If PNE were not facing a 5-point disadvantage, I guarantee you, they could do the same thing. Look at the pace. 1:14.75, 1:14.78.
The pace is there.
That is the level that there are 5 players whose personal bests in live rounds are all better than Daddy 15 and are all within 13 hundredths of a second. 5 players on the server in live rounds, all better than Daddy 15.
Racerlight, how did he not go out of the track there?
They need to convert. That's half a second. You're not gonna get more from the Power Rangers. Convert the point. They literally must. There is no way out. If they don't convert this point, I mean, they already have to overhaul a huge disadvantage on the final map, but they have to start reducing it now or it will be too late. It will be too late. PNE must convert. A situation where they cannot lose a single round. Every mistake, which seems so individually inconsequential, which can happen for the most, understandable reason. No time even for understandable mistakes anymore. No time for anything but perfection. Panda falls short of the mark, and Stiko is in a clutch position where if he overtakes a single one of these players, it's gonna fall away again. Actually, never mind, because this has just been a red round regardless.
Yeah, it's a Power Rangers round anyway, because Panda falls behind
Panda got sniped by Racerlight in the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
That is crushing.
So if Power Rangers win the next round, they can only draw PNE Blue still, right?
No, I'm not entirely sure. I will do the points when we finish casting this map.
All right.
Realistically speaking, I think the points tally currently is 14 to 20. 14 to 20.
Yeah.
So 6-point disadvantage again.
Yeah.
It's not insurmountable, but only technically. For all practical intents and purposes, that is insurmountable. And losing these rounds by so little, it's gonna hurt. Because Panda has beat Dopamine, Spider has beat Racerlight, and Kez has beaten Stiko, and yet they are down in team points. That is the most impossible thing about driving against Power Rangers. You can beat each of their individual players, and you still lose. You still lose because their team consistency is ridiculous. And now the consistency is again ridiculous this round because 6 players are within 200ths of a second, and Power Rangers have a map point which would effectively crown them the champions. If they convert this round, it is all but over. They would need to win just one more round to seal it. PNE must win.
Oh, but Spider is gone. Oh, Blasto as well. I think it's it. This is it.
It remains to be seen. Yeah, Dopamine will not make a mistake. Panda tries his best, but... And Dopa has stepped it up so much at the end of the map to give them the carry performance they needed, and... PNE must win 7-0 to force a decider.
Aye. What a map we have seen. And it's interesting that we talked about it before, map number 3 being super interesting, maybe fall to one or another team. It didn't really happen, it was super close, but still, PNE didn't put up the performance that they needed there.
I mean, it needs to be said that, realistically speaking, it feels so wrong to say that this match is going to be over. The level has been... Insane is an insufficient word. I have no words with which to describe how insane the level of this match was. I really wanted this match to be more competitive happening into map 4, and I wanted this match to be more competitive. I wanted there to be a decider map. I want this match to go on for 8 maps for all I care. Because these players have put on the most insane high level in a NASCAR match I think I've ever seen. That's not an exaggeration. The amount of deadies in live rounds, the amount of peak pace with the amount of consistency feels like it should not be possible in any imaginable universe, and they've made it happen. And PNE Blue have still played in such a crazy way. Such a crazy level of performance, especially from Panda, who I think has been the first in points on 3 consecutive maps.
I think so as well, yeah.
Who is the final MVP regardless of whether he loses or not. But how can... It just seems completely impossible. I mean, if I'm Panda, I would be at a loss for words. If I'm Spider, I would be at a loss for words. So much raw pace in hand. A player with such a storied career, and unfortunately just didn't work out this evening. And even the slightest mistakes, and they were slight mistakes, make no mistake about it, that was all they needed.
Yep. That's crazy. Aye.
And it's a crazy thing to think about, because the difference is 7 points now. 3 points, 3 times, PNE Blue lost a round to a clutch or a throw. Those 3 points that went their way, and we would be equal heading into now. So that's it.
Yeah.
1 round, 2 round, 3 round, that's it. 3 mistakes, match is over. That's what spiraled this advantage. The pace between the teams was completely equal on all 3 maps. And yet the score doesn't reflect this because PR clutched when they needed to. I wouldn't even call it clutching. It's not like they had to clutch. They just drove at a level of consistency that was... They were there to pick up even the slightest mistake.
Exactly.
And from the first throw they made, the first one, on map number 1, I already said then, it's a 1-point advantage. It seems like nothing. 1 point is everything. This is Power Rangers you're facing. If you are having to risk extra, just that 5% of risk, that's all that's needed to decide the grand final. I am just sad because the score is going to make this sound like a more one-sided match than it was. It was not a one-sided match. It has been completely even for 3 maps, by every metric.
Yeah. It's very true. It's still resonating.
Technically it's possible. 7-0 win for PNE Blue would force a decider map. We would go to map number 1, City of Evil by Sticker.
But it's only technically.
This map, there is only one thing that works in the favor of a decisive finish on this map. It's that this map, everybody is super prone to making mistakes. Players like Devil, even Focus, who mapped it, finished last in 2 to 3 consecutive rounds at the start just because. Small mistakes. This map, lots of decisions to be made in every corner. You have so many lines to select from, some more risky than others. You have to constantly be judging risk and reward. Can you afford to play safe against Power Rangers? Probably not, but can you afford to risk when the Rammstein's right there staring at your rear wheels? I don't think you can. You are between a rock and a hard place. You are being asked to perform something which is impossible. But we've seen more unlikely things happen. Technically.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There have been 8-round winning streaks in the SNC so far, and that's from teams that were losing up until that point, so...
Technically, the game is still on.
Technically, the game is still on. PNE Blue must win 7-0 to force a decider. Dopamine is not playing the map. This map is prone to mistakes. Well, let's take a look at the lineup. So it's Regenhertz, Blitze, and Stiko versus Kez, Spider, and Panda. This is what we term a little bit of trolling. This is a little bit of disrespect. They are basically saying, you're not gonna win 7-0. We saw you all evening long. You have no... You're gonna make mistakes. Don't bullshit me. Stiko is solid as a rock, consistent. Blitz has been putting up some pretty decent points. You're not gonna win. That's what Power Rangers are saying right now with this lineup. And I'm gonna remind you, lineups can't be substituted when you've started a map.
No, this is it.
Lineups can't be substituted. Which means there's no calling Dopamine in for this one. So now we'll see what happens. Either they really are correct and PNE do nothing, or they pay a very interesting price for this decision.
That would have been the sickest thing we would ever see.
This is the...
I mean, look at what's happening in this round.
This is the most insane disrespect I've... This is so disrespectful. I know that sounds like a very bad thing to say because it sounds like I'm indirectly calling Regenhertz, Blitz, and Stiko a bad lineup. Far from it, but you're facing Panda, Spider, and Kez. You can't afford to have an off day.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you can't play around. Regenhertz, Blitz, and Stiko, they can win a round, and by winning a round, they would win the match. But PNE Blue just kind of aced them, and Kez and Panda put up a 119, which is Daddy 20-ish, Daddy 15-ish.
We're here to witness this. It's happening.
I just
don't know what to say.
I just saw Dream Team gamble an SNC final live on stream. Now I've seen everything in my life. I've just seen Futz literally gamble an SNC final. This is what this is. It's a gamble. They're saying, PNE Blue, we caught you throwing 3 times. You're gonna throw another time. But can you really say that to PNE Blue though?
I don't know.
That's the thing. Can you really say that to PNE Blue?
They are still super deadly pace, and we've seen it unfolding here.
Is this the team that you really want to try this against?
I don't think so.
Thing is, I think Power Rangers might actually win this round on pure pace. They woke up. They must have heard me. They must have heard what I was saying.
Is it gonna happen here?
I feel like Kez has to be risking a lot to keep the position. I mean, Power Rangers can still win this, by the way, in case late round throw happens, in case Blitz snipes Spider.
Spider!
Blitz actually sniped him, but
it doesn't matter.
Kez held on to a position. That was critical.
Holy shit. I can't see this anymore. This is absolutely insanity.
Well, that's 2 rounds. Now hold on, that's 2 rounds. That's 2 rounds.
That's only 2 rounds.
5 more.
5 more. Chat is counting as well, I see.
I can't believe they chose to do this.
It's absolutely
It's like
insane.
Dopamine was even asking them at the beginning of the map, your decision, and then he went AFK. And seeing that chat image, I saw something. I saw a vision. Feel me?
Yeah.
I saw a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think Panda, Kez, and Spider also saw something when they saw Dopamine go AFK. They see a way. It's a way. I am gonna say this right now. Stiko, Blitz, and Regenhertz. Stiko, Blitz, and Regenhertz are a good enough lineup that they could win a map against PNE Blue. The skill is there. But Regenhertz hasn't played tonight. She's not warmed up.
Yeah.
Panda, Spider, and Kez are definitely warmed up. Stiko's been very consistent, but maybe not the fastest pace. And yeah.
I mean, it's looking good
Do
again here.
you? I mean, Stiko's doing God's work. I need to say this. Stiko's actually doing God's work. He's really determined to prove, but they actually get ace.
Wow.
That's 119.9, 120 ace. Wait, Power Rangers, this round would have been enough to win against any other team.
Yeah.
Any other team, that round wins. That's 120.1, 120.3, 6 deady times. 6 deady times in this round. But PNE Blue are just faster. That's the problem. You are gambling that they will make a mistake. And the problem is, what did I tell you? The same would happen if PNE were in a position where they had the advantage.
Yeah.
They have the stability that it takes. If they saw Dopamine go AFK because they are underestimating them, maybe. But PR now have a big lead.
Look at this.
This is a really big lead for PR, by the way. That's a very big lead.
That's
On this
a really
map,
big lead.
very difficult to make up a lead of 0.3 of a second, by the way. Blitz's lead might just be what clutches out for that Steve the ball. No, but wait a minute. Blitz and Regenhertz are in first and second. Hold up. Power Rangers can win. They have 0.2 of a second. They have 0.2 of a second. That's hard to make up on this map. Regenhertz is an SNC winner with FUTs.
Oh, Blitz.
Hold up. Not yet. Regenhertz still holding. Blitz, not sure how big of a mistake he made. If a PNE player makes a mistake, maybe.
Plus though.
Hold up.
Where's Blitz?
Hold up.
Panda did it.
Panda snipes.
Holy shit, Panda snipes. In the last turn.
Wait a minute.
What the fuck is
4-0.
happening, Deft? What's going on?
Hold up.
What's going on?
4-0. Hold up.
Oh
It is 4-0. Every PNE player has more points than every PR player.
Oh. I can't watch anymore. This is absolutely
What
insanity.
did I say 2 maps ago? If you give Power Rangers a finger, they will take your hand. But if the circumstances were reversed, if Power Rangers threw around, PNE would do the same. You can't let PNE back in the match or they will showcase their best form. Just because they made mistakes when the pressure was on and when Dopamine was on the team doesn't mean they're pressures all the time. I have been telling this throughout the match tonight. Between 90% and 100% pace is a world of difference. It's a world of difference. And now that you kind of have to do 95% pace as PNE Blue, you can drive much more safely.
Yeah.
They might have miscalculated.
Stiko out.
They might have okay, hold up. Blitz and Regenhertz are competitive, and everything can happen. On this map, you have land bugs, you have the opportunity for letting...
Ooh.
Okay, but Regenhertz also made a mistake. This is critical. It's critical that she also made a mistake, because otherwise, it would not be looking that good. Panda and Spider need to hold on to these positions, because Blastorex is out. Blastorex respawn. Hold up. Blitz, if he snipes this might be the throw that PNE were awaiting. Hold the door. Panda first, Spider third. Is this
Blasto.
enough?
It will be
Kez
it.
has
It's
to
it.
finish. No.
Blasto still.
No, it is a blue round. It's blue. Kez has to finish it.
Oh my god.
Good. That was crazy. That was almost a stroll. But Regenhertz and Stiko weren't there. Small mistakes. Panda's converting. Panda is leading 4 maps in a row. He's got 8 points more than the closest player, 16 points more than the last player.
It's 5-0 Deft.
2 rounds, and they will force a decider from being 7 points behind by 7-0ing Power Rangers after Power Rangers disrespected them. I can't believe my eyes.
I
Power
can't
Rangers,
believe it.
Surely you haven't done this. Surely you have a round in you. Don't tell me that you did this expecting PNE Blue to break mentally. You do not give them this gift. You do not mess with PNE Blue.
Regan will bug, she's out.
Well, and PNE must realize they've got the third player. He can see who's behind him on the checkpoints. They have to realize that she's not anywhere close. If they are communicating, then they should be able to win the 6th round in a row. No.
It's not gonna happen for sure.
No.
I can't.
No.
I can't.
Surely Blitz and Reagan... Surely Blitz and Stiko have something to say about this. No, Blitz touches the wall! I can't believe my eyes. No.
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 Power Rangers actually disrespected them and it's biting them in the ass.
What the
They're
fuck is
actually
happening?
going to go to a decider from a 7-point advantage. This is the biggest throw in SNC history. I can't believe my fucking eyes. They win 6 in a row.
What the
One more round and we have a decider.
Holy fucking shit!
No!
What is going on here? For sure, we are not going to the tiebreaker now. It can't be done.
There's
It
no
can't
way.
be real.
There's
It
no way
can't
they
be
did
real.
this.
Oh my days. Last round. What could be? Is
Rema.
PNE Blue gonna force the tiebreaker, or is Power Rangers in the ultimate last round possible?
Rema. Each player from Power Rangers
Holy
put up
shit.
120.1 or 120.2. That's enough pace to win a round.
It's
Easy.
enough pace.
Against any other team. That's enough pace to win a round if PNE make a single mistake. But the problem isn't in the pace. The problem's in the mental game. Dopamine went AFK. You just sent a message to PNE Blue. Spider will touch the ball. Hold up. This might be what they need. Hold up.
Stico Blitze.
This might be the decisive mistake. Maybe
might
at the
be
end
it.
they can still save it, but hold up.
But Blasto is right behind.
Hold up. Nothing on this map is decided until the final corner. Hold up.
Hold up.
Hold up. I'm not even going to say anything. The action speaks for itself. Eco being overtaken by Kez.
Kez! They're
And
gonna do
Blitz
it!
being
They're
overtaken
gonna do
by
it!
Kez!
They're
We're
gonna
going
do
to
it!
the decider!
Final! What the fuck is going on? We have a fucking tiebreaker, guys! Holy shit, the final is
Oh
not
my-
over! What the fuck am I so... Holy shit! No fucking way! Oh. Oh no, Deft. I can't, I'm having fucking problems here. I'm shaking like hell. What's going on? I didn't even write down the scores anymore. It doesn't matter. Holy shit.
I did.
Oh my god.
We have a decider. City of Evil by Stico. We're going again.
What? We're going again. And Dopamine just casually returns to the chat asking which map do we play. Oh my days.
What?
Thanks for the sub Gibbs in the chat, because I saw Tia Master was gonna gift 7 subs if they were going to make the comeback, guys. It is absolutely insane. Oh my days. 5-minute break. Decider map, winner takes it all.
Panda already put the stream on because he didn't realize that he was making the comeback. Panda
Oh.
didn't know. This entire time he didn't even realize that doing this
Really?
would be enough to put them out.
Oh my god. Oh. This is... Guys, I don't know. What we have seen in the last 4 maps here with this concluder final map, this is something else.
This is the greatest match in NASCAR history.
I
I'm
agree
saying it
with
right
this.
here. I'm saying it right here.
I
This
agree.
is the greatest match in NASCAR history.
Oi.
I cannot believe that Power Rangers chose to do that at the end. They really said, we can take a round from you. We can win a map with any roster. And they get punched in the teeth 7-0.
What the...
There was only one way PNE could have possibly forced another map.
Yeah.
There was only one thing they could have done, which is to win permanently after 3 maps in which they were tested to the limit, after 3 maps in which they threw, after 3 maps in which they were, you know, struggling individually sometimes. And they went 7-0 the moment the slightest amount of pressure was released. Just the slightest amount of pressure. You take Racerlight out, you take Dopamine out, that's it. That's it. PNE Blue demolish the rest of Power Rangers.
It's absolutely crazy.
I cannot this cannot be real. And that's exactly what I've been saying the entire night. It's the smallest lead for Power Rangers that spiraled into a huge one. Because the pressure of playing against Power Rangers was colossal.
Yeah.
But if the circumstances were reversed, if the mental pressure was ever released, PNE Blue could take it back. The comeback was possible even when Dopamine and Razorlight were on the server. If you give them just 5%, mind you, Blitzen, Reagan, Stiko, all of them put up crazy good rounds from time to time. But they didn't have the consistent pace. It was by 1/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second maybe. But that was all PNE Blue needed. 5%, the tiniest of margins. All they need to completely bring it back. And now, decider map, winner takes all. Whoever wins this map wins the grand final.
Yeah. Yeah.
This map, City of Evil by Stako, this is the decider map. This is the one we'll be playing, just for your information.
So not one round, because I see the questions in the chat.
A full map.
A full map.
We are playing a full map. This map, whoever wins the map, wins the match. Simple as that.
You can predict
Panda
it as well.
Panda has been top 1 on 4 consecutive maps. Top 1 on 4 consecutive maps. Dopamine who? Dopamine who?
Dopamine who?
That's what he's saying right now.
That's what he's saying.
If it wasn't for Razorlight's consistency, if it wasn't for Stiko putting up heroics on map number 2, PNE Blue. Wow.
Yeah. This is...
I can't believe. But now think about what Power Rangers must be feeling right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to PNE Blue in map number 1, I think.
Because
right?
Power Rangers just dropped a 7-point advantage in an SNC Grand Final
On a single map.
where winning a single round would have been enough to win it. It's not like they had a 7-point advantage after map 1.
Absolutely insane.
The players are not playing, by the way. We are still going to warm up before the decider map.
Yeah. Still warming up as chat has spoken, I see. Because we had a prediction in the channel, and chat doesn't know what is happening here. We got 23,000 points to PNE Blue win. We got 33,000 points to Power Rangers win. So nobody knows. Anything can happen. It's anyone's game now, and it will be decided on this map.
The mental game right now is insane. Power Rangers will have to pick at least one of the 3 players that just lost 0-7. They have to pick one of those players, and one of those players has to take back this devastating mental, emotional loss.
Yeah.
And they have to bring it back. The current score is 21-21. We are playing a decider map because we have been completely even at the end of regulation.
That you would say this in an SNC Grand Final on a decider map that the score is 21-21. It is absolutely unheard of. Oh my days.
I can't believe. And the mental game is just completely different now. PNE have just proven to themselves that if Power Rangers give them 5%, they will demolish.
Yeah.
There's not even there's not even a difference.
It's crazy.
However, Power Rangers did win this map in regulation, 7-5.
Yeah.
And now everybody's also tired after 4 maps of play. They are mentally cooked.
Like
completely.
Dopa says in chat, none of the players have brain cells left.
And now they are asked to do another map in which the pressure is incredible. Whoever wins the map wins the grand final. That's it. There's like no extra play after this. Somebody in the SNC format, somebody always has to win a map. There cannot be a tie on a map. Whoever wins the map wins the match. Simple as that. PNE Blue had a 4-2 lead on this map before losing 5-7. If you're feeling the way you're feeling right now as PNE Blue, and if you get to an early advantage again, I don't know what Power Rangers would have to find in order to bring that back.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's almost a guarantee that Power Rangers will bring back in Dopamine and Razorlight.
Yeah.
Who have now had an opportunity to rest for a map, who are now going to definitely be in a fresher state than Panda, Kez, and Spider, who have played 4 consecutive maps. So it's a game of so many... There's so many things on the line right now. We have been treated to something that feels like it's out of a dream. It should never have happened.
It's out of this universe.
But here we are. Whatever happened in the past 4 maps is behind us now. It doesn't matter. It never happened. Whoever wins this map wins the grand final. It's as simple as that. It's a death match.
It's so insane. Oh.
And we are restarting, and the players will warm up, and we will begin.
Ready.
Something... I'm not sure. Have we even had a decider map in SNC grand final history?
I was thinking about this as well. I can't remember. And I don't think so, actually.
We are not warming up. There is no warm-up. We are going live after 40 seconds of a break.
Instant live. All right.
Instantly live.
Holy moly.
This is the best final of all time, and we are about to witness its epic conclusion. We are witnessing history.
Wow.
Witnessing
on the decider map.
And writing a new future. The light at the end of the tunnel, map 4. I said that around map 2 to 3. I didn't think it would be that literal.
Yeah, you did, but here we are, Deft. 3 more seconds to go.
But it's so fascinating. PNE, perfection was demanded from them. They gave it 95% of perfection on map number 2, map number 3. It was not enough. On map number 4, they were asked to produce 100% perfect performance. And they did.
There we go.
And the rosters: Blitzer, Razorlight, Dopamine, Spider, Kez, Panda. Rematch of map number 1, exact same roster. Razorlight and Dopamine have the benefit of resting for 1 map. PNE will not enjoy that benefit. Whoever wins the map wins the match. Let's remind ourselves of what's crucial on this map. It's the first corner, that right-hander heading into the banked turn. This is the crucial part which decides your pace for the rest of the lap. Second important element is this platform ascent. Airtime, not allowed. The way you choose to take this final 180, all important. No way out. No time for error. All players still competitive in the round. Razorlight and Dopamine crucially bleeding pace. Dopamine had to release PNE Surge into the lead. Surely they are not going to win an 8th consecutive round, but it does look that way because PR are currently not able to contest. But we've seen this match. Weirder things happen before the finish line. We will not count a round until we've seen it counted because my god.
We're not counting any rounds until the finish line.
But it does seem like PNE have this one in the bag, and that's 118.5. That's 118.6. Those are 3 deadies instantly, and an ace for PNE, and an 8th consecutive point for PNE. They take the first point on the decider map. And Blitzer with another mistake, and he also made a lot of mistakes the first time they were driving this. Despite having Deady free, his consistency has not been great.
That's what
we are playing until 7 rounds. Exactly. We are playing this as a standard map. Whoever wins the map wins the grand final. Simple as that.
That's
First
all
corner.
that needs to happen.
All 6 players navigated well. Razorlight, just a smidgen less speed, but that's just 0.2 of a second. 0.2 of a second is nothing. You're going to lose half a second for a small mistake. You're going to lose 10 seconds for a big one. Simple as that. Players making their way to the platform ascent. Literally nothing separating the 2 teams right now. Panda, Blitzer, Razorlight slightly further behind. Razorlight choosing to ascend the platform earlier. This gives him a little bit of time to think about the corner he's going to take next. Maybe a little bit of a safer approach. Maybe he realizes he has to be a rock for Power Rangers to stabilize them against what has just happened. Spider and Dopamine taking that corner with no fear, and Spider actually maintains the lead, but Blitz is overtaking Kez and Razorlight's overtaking Panda. So this round, still very possible to fall into the advantage of Power Rangers. It is so close, you can barely tell the difference between these 2 teams. So far, Power Rangers advantage. Just a couple of corners to go. Snipes will have to happen at the finish line for the round outcome to be changed. Who will win, Spider or Dopamine? Can Kez do something? Can Panda do something? What's going to happen at the end? Razorlight with a line. Razorlight actually gives up a lot of speed at the end. Whose round is it? It's a red round by 1 point only.
1 point only. Very nice driving by
Panda.
Dopamine there to secure it.
Panda did snipe Razorlight in the end, but Dopamine sniped Spider, and that was the critical thing.
Whoa. It's 22-22. I don't know if I would ever say this in an SNC Grand Final, but it is the truth. 1-1 here on this map, 22-22 in total. And we're still playing. The players have been playing for a long time.
We are deep in overtime. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They've been playing for such a long time, and you're thinking to yourself, 5th consecutive map, and all of the maps had a lot of rounds played. No map was a blowout tonight. At least PNE Blue got 4 to 5 points on every single one. You know? The overall score doesn't matter, by the way. It's just the score of this map. You don't need to worry about the overall score anymore. Blitzer is behind in this round. He is 9/10 of a second behind. It would take a severe mistake from a PNE player to fall that far behind, meaning PNE take the advantage. Dopamine and Razorlight, now they are under a situation where they must deliver an offensive drive. There's no more time to play safe. Whoa, Dopamine has clearly gotten the message. Ooh. And Razorlight's actually gotten the message, and the offensive drive that they need is actually manifesting for them right now. Actually, Power Rangers are making this round competitive again because Kez gave up just a little bit of pace. But Kez made the right choice because they still have enough points to win the round because of the fact that Blitz is last. The problem is if Spider gets sniped, the round is not safe anymore. They want to snipe Razorlight, and Spider has to defend. If Dopamine snipes, the round is lost for PNE Blue.
Yeah, and no, yeah, Spider will hit the wall. Oh,
and Razorlight sniped them in the end, and it's a red round.
Holy moly. Dopa with alien pace, really out of this world, and takes first place there.
There are 5 players put up a deady time. 5 players put up a deady time. The problem is that the 180 at the end, that's the problem. You're under pressure. Spider realized that he had to take a risky one because Dopamine was going to put in a good corner. It's Dopamine, and he needed to keep first place. It's not an unforced mistake. It's a forced mistake. The mental game is crazy right now. Razorlight is the one to navigate the initial corner the worst right now, but Blitz and Dopamine are in the lead. This is all they need to keep converting. Remember, Power Rangers won this map despite PNE putting up some good pace, despite PNE actually leading the map at 1 point.
Yeah.
So far, Power Rangers look like they've stabilized. They managed to put two rounds on the board immediately. They have a foothold in the decider map. And if they can win this one as well, they will take a decisive advantage in the decider. And again, the mental game will begin counting against PNE. Kez has made a mistake, Spider has released, and this round all but decided for Power Rangers. Panda touches the wall as well, and that's the thing. Dopamine, Razorlight, they had a map to sort of calm down. Spider, Kez, and Panda 5 maps in a row, and so much pressure. They've been under mental pressure the entire evening, and now having to perform as well. Just a little bit too much to ask for them, and it will be a 3rd round in the favor of Power Rangers on this decider map.
It's shifting. But it's not over until it's over.
Blitz is finally putting up the pace. Blitz finally with a good round, waking up in the nick of time.
In the absolute latest minute.
Yeah, Power Rangers now in a good advantage. They've warmed up. They are in the map to play. Blitzer has been activated. Razorlight is putting up the consistent points. And finally, Panda, after being first for 4 maps in a row, finally showing the slightest crack. He will still be the MVP of the final, in my opinion, no matter the result, but there is only so much one man can do, and 4 maps seem to be his limit. Spider touching the wall. Spider has to risk. He has to risk. That's the thing. You're thinking to yourself, well, why would you risk? Why would you force an error? You have to risk. You must risk. You cannot be safe. Blitzer now touches the wall, and hold up. Does Spider actually overtake Blitzer? No, he doesn't. This is very critical. This is going to play a role in the round later. Now it's Kez and Panda versus Razorlight and Dopamine. The 2 versus 2, and a 2 versus 2 that PNE actually have to win, because it's Power Rangers favored at the back. So Panda needs to mount an offensive drive, while Kez has to defend himself against 2 players that are almost indefensible against. And indeed, Razorlight and Dopamine immediately going to punish even the slightest inaccuracy from Kez. 3 players, wheel to wheel. 4 players, wheel to wheel, because Panda, 4 players within 1/10 of a second. Nothing separating the players now, but again, PNE must win. But what is happening at the back? Actually, Spider is very close to Blitzer. This round will be decided with a freeway battle. Literally every position is critical. Every position snipe will decide this round. PNE have to win it, but I don't think PNE will win it. They are in a disadvantaged position as it stands right now. Panda will snipe at the end, but I'm not sure it's enough. Spider snipes Blitzer!
Yeah.
Spider sniped Blitzer. That's critical.
Razorlight got sniped by Panda only 1/100th of a second there. Holy moly. They do it. And they found themselves 2-3.
4 players within 1.5 tenths of a second, 2 snipes by hundreds of a second deciding the round. 5 maps in a row, these people are still competing like it's the first map. It feels like I'm watching... I mean, this can't be possible. They've thrown so many punches at each other, you think they would be both knocked out by this point, but no. They are still performing at a level which is beyond anything we've seen in any other match in the SNC. I cannot believe we got 40 plus rounds of this match. I can't believe it.
Insane.
They should charge you to watch this. This is incredible. And now in this round,
crazy.
Dopamine and Blitz are behind. Dopamine and Blitz are behind. Temporary advantage PNE. But everything can change in the second lap. Remember what I said, first corner, that right-hander heading into the looping in the second lap, everything can change there. Your lap 1 advantage doesn't matter. PR are still in a position where they can convert, still in a position where they can punish. They navigated safely, but it's not over yet. Blitza makes actually a bit of a mistake at the back, meaning that Panda will be able to secure 5th place. The problem is that now Spider and Kez must defend. If they get sniped, if PR get the first 2 positions, PR will take the round, so they need to finish this. I think they have enough pace in hand. It's only about not making a mistake. It's about realizing that the pressure is actually not on you right now, despite what you may think, and Spider now picks the correct line.
Oh, Kez is gonna make the mistake in the end, but it doesn't matter. They lose
No, it doesn't
only
matter
with 1
because
point.
Spider protected. The Spider protected his position. This is critical. Spider, he could have easily made that second mistake, by the way. Spider hasn't been having the best evening of his life, and on this map, it has also been very difficult for him. He also made multiple mistakes on that final corner, but this time, he picks it properly. He mentally recovered from mistakes that very few other players can. This is the fortitude of each one of these players. Kez now, touching the inside Ramstein, will be blown out, but so will Blitza. Let's now see. In the battle in the back, actually Kez will overtake Blitza. Kez will overtake Blitza. So now, we have a top 4 battle where PNE are advantaged by 1 point. PR have to now fight against this.
We've seen this many times tonight here on this map now.
So now, PNE, this is very important. If PNE win this round, they're going to win 3 in a row, and they're going to take the overall lead. A momentum shift, a needed momentum shift. But the problem is the Dopamine and Race Light, they're not going to let them get away with this. Remember, PR can still win this, depending on the result of the top 4, but Race Light's actually won with the outside.
And where is Kez? He is really far.
No. Kez has enough of a position. This is a free round for PNE now. This is a free round. Spider and Panda just need to finish. Razorlight can't catch them. They just need to finish. They don't need to catch Dopamine. I hope they realize it.
Yeah.
This is, of course, assuming that Kez doesn't get overtaken by Blitzer, but I think it's 4 seconds behind them, so Kez should be able to finish the map safely, and Spider and Panda need to finish safely. Don't crash.
And they did.
Reach the finish line. A snipe is not necessary to win this round. Kez has to reach the finish line ahead of Blitzer, and he will.
And he will. Wow. And they take
and
the
now
lead.
PNE win 3 consecutive rounds. They win 3 consecutive rounds after Power Rangers won 3 consecutive rounds. The flow is shifting round by round. The mental game is crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a reminder to you. This is the decider map. Whoever wins the map wins. With every round that finishes, we are closer to an ending. With every round, players have less of a chance to make a mistake. With every round, they move closer to the edge. Every mistake becomes more fatal with each passing round. The mental pressure is only increasing. It's already astronomical, sky high. Most players would crack under this pressure, and it is only getting bigger. The pressure is bigger now than it ever was in the match, and there are only a couple rounds left in this entire match as a whole. Blitze is half a second behind. Advantage, PNE, but not a decisive advantage. It's not a big mistake. If anybody ahead makes a mistake, Blitze is in position to capitalize. Do not let go. That's what PNE need to be thinking. Don't let go.
Count them out.
And all 6 players navigated, and 5 players are within 0.2 of a second. I can't believe that they can put up this level. They're watching at the scoreboard. They must be shaking right now. With fear, with excitement, with anything. But actually, if nothing changes right now, Power Rangers will win the round because they have the top 2 finishers. Razorlight has clutched up in a crazy way, and so has Dopamine. Kez must snipe. Spider must snipe. They will not snipe. Power Rangers win the round despite Blitz's mistake.
Wow. That's crazy. 118.50 out from 58 from Razorlight.
4 players in 1/10 of a second. All of them Daddy 15. 4 players in 1/10 of a second in the decider map after playing The players have now played over 50 rounds. This
It's
is the
insane.
51st round. 51st round of NASCAR tonight. And they are still doing this. I have never seen something like this. I've never seen this level. Kez now touches the wall. This is going to be a fatal mistake. Remember what I told you. The clock is ticking. The map approaches its conclusion. Every mistake, more and more fatal. Making a mistake at 0-0, fine. Making a mistake at 4-4, much less fine. Making a mistake at 6-6, you're going home. And imagine how heartbreaking it would be for any player here. Imagine how heartbreaking it would be for any player here to reach the final round, to come back from a 7-point deficit, but to lose in the end anyway.
That would be insane.
And right now, Power Rangers are going to take the lead again with 2 consecutive rounds. They're going to go up 5-4 on the decider.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours of playing, mistakes are going to be more common.
Yeah.
Mistakes were common on this map where they were playing it the first time. The very fact that they can still keep it together is astonishing. It is a testament to their mental, physical fortitude. And Dopamine has been unlocked on this map. He's going to have 50 points. He's going to have 48 points at the end of this hole.
Yeah.
He has carried in an unreal way. 118.5 again. Dopamine returns judge, jury, and executioner.
He's there. 48
He's
points
there.
and then 36 for Spider. So Dopa...
And Kez himself is saying in the chat, you know, the fatigue is setting in.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's saying. Panda trying to keep him in it.
Yeah, yeah,
And obviously Kez trained for a day.
yeah.
Kez trained for a day. 4 players, 5 players are currently within their personal best pace 1.5 tenths of a second. 5 players are within 1.5 tenths of a second on PB pace in live rounds currently. All
Absolutely
of it,
insane.
Daddy 15 or above.
And this after 2 hours of driving.
I
It's
am in
it's
disbelief.
it's absolutely
this-
crazy.
PNE must win this round. PNE must win this round, or it will be map, match, and tournament point for Power Rangers. They must win. There is no room for error. There is no room to lose another one. PNE must win. No chance otherwise.
They have to push Panda in the back here.
And look at this, Razorlight and Blitzen. Blitz is not making a mistake now. Look at the killer instinct of every single player. Blitzer, he made a ton of mistakes. What does he care? He smells blood in the water. He knows that he can stick it to PNE Blue if he clutches up now. Panda has some airtime in the back. He will finish 6th no matter what. It is critical that Kez defends 3rd place and Spider
does.
finishes 1st. They do,
Wow, they do it.
and they equalize.
Holy
And
moly, they
Spider
equalize again.
118.2. Oh my god.
What has happened?
Spider.
What is that time?
That is Daddy 4. That is Daddy 4 in a live round.
In a live round
Daddy
after
4.
2 hours of driving in the SNC 2024. Oh my days.
53rd round, Spider does a Daddy 4.
That's unheard of.
After trailing for 5 points, by 7 points, and being through so much mental pressure, he's still doing this on demand. The best NASCAR players are inhuman. They are in a league of their own. This is the absolute finest NASCAR action anybody has ever witnessed. I feel confident in
Yes.
saying this.
Yes.
And now PNE have an early advantage in the round. But again, early advantage doesn't mean anything. Lap 2 start decides how you're going to go into the final one. Blitzer almost touched the checkpoint. He took so much risk in order to take so much speed. Blitzer realizes the position he finds himself in. If PNE win this round, now PNE have map, match, and tournament point. You have to understand, Blitzer needs to risk like there's no tomorrow. And Racerlight also needs to risk. And
paying
Blitzer's
off.
risk is currently being rewarded, and so is
Yeah.
Racerlight. So is Racerlight. Hold up. Hold up. Power
up.
Rangers are currently leading this round. Power Rangers are currently leading this round. Spider has to do something from the back. Spider has to
Spider.
do something from the back or it will be all over. Well, not all over, but it will be a point for Power Rangers. I can't believe that the decisive round will go to the wire like this. Which team will reach map, match, and
Oh,
tournament point
Spider.
first?
Holy moly, but it will not happen. Oh my days. It will be
Spider
blue.
defending. Spider's defense, first
Will be
Spider's
blue.
Daddy 4, then his defense against Blitzer is unreal clutching from Spider.
What the
Spider has
fuck?
the most points of any PNE Blue player. PNE Blue have map,
It's point.
match, and tournament point after being down 7 points and winning 7-0 to force a decider. PNE have map, match, and tournament point.
Oh my days.
If Power Rangers win this, we are going to go to the literal last round available in an SNC match.
That's so sick.
I cannot believe this.
Oh.
One last round. This is the biggest pressure they have faced in all of their years of NASCAR. Everything they've been working towards, all of the training, all of this is coming back to them. Memories of wins and losses in tournaments, all of it coming back
Spider.
to him. Spider has made a critical mistake. It's a small mistake. It's a mistake that will keep him in the round at 1 second.
Blitz
but
as well.
ultimately, he is at the mercy. He is at the mercy of Power Rangers to make a mistake. And if I know anything about Dopamine and Racer like this, they do not make mistakes easily. Blitz and I'm also charging forth. Blitz smells blood in the water. That's the beauty of it all. Even after all of his mistakes, even after being last in points again on this particular map, he is able to score when it matters. That's the wonderful thing about top tier NASCAR players. They never give up. They never give up. No matter how dire the situation. PNE didn't give up, and now Power Rangers don't give up. And we are going to the literal last round possible. Whoever wins the next round wins the map, the match, and the tournament.
The fuck has happened here? This is absolutely insanity. 6-6, and this is it.
Dopamine has 65 teams. Dopamine has literally put up 65 team points, and it's 6-6.
It's absolutely
Power
insane.
Rangers are Dopamine interceding. An absolute miracle. Everything that we've been casting up to this point, everything from the qualifying to now, all that is left between us and the champion of the SNC 2024, the grand champion, the greatest team in NASCAR, is 1.5 minutes. 2 laps on City of Evil by Stico. It all comes down to this. Lap number 2, and no player has made a mistake. Now, when the pressure is highest, they are at their very best. They do not yield anything. Razorlight touching the outside Ramstein. This is an opportunity for PNE. Blitzer has touched the wall, but so has Panda and so has Spider. Hold up. Nothing. Despite 2 mistakes by Power Rangers, it is 2 mistakes by PNE Blue to equalize. Dopamine and Kez are fighting at the very top. And I think that because Razorlight's mistake ended up being the smallest of them all, unless Kez can snipe, this is a Power Rangers round. Dopamine and Plesrex. 1 corner to decide the grand champion of the SNC. Kez will risk everything he has, but it is not enough.
It's not enough.
Your grand champion of the SNC 2024.
It's it.
Power Rangers.
Wow. Holy shit. It's done. That's it. Blitz is gonna finish. We took it to the last possible round. And Power Rangers take the victory after 5 maps played. Oh my god, that's it. GG, well played.
5-7, 4-7, 5-7, 7-0, 6-7.
7-0. Oh.
And in the end, PNE Blue, Power Rangers, the greatest battle that we've witnessed in NASCAR history. Elation for the winner, absolute heartbreak for the losing team. They fought for 2 hours. They fought against impossible odds. No team but PNE Blue could do this. They fought back, and in the end, one round is all that separates them from the victory of the SNC overall.
1 round.
And Power Rangers take the gold medal. PNE Blue have to settle for